Mr. Bladroma 1989, and this is my TNA Impact review for October 29th, 2009. Overall, I think it was a great show. Let's get started. First, they plugged the Hulk Hogan signing that happened earlier this week, and they also recap Kurt Angle's face turn as well as the debut of Desmond Wolfe. Then Desmond Wolfe comes out and cuts a promo that was so freaking good. His mic skills, the story, and the crowd's heat and reaction, it really puts him over as a very important character in TNA in only his second week. Now, Angle's promo was also gold. He continued to put the young guys over and assured us that Wolfe had messed with the wrong guy. He also announces that tonight will be a street fight. At first I was kind of like confused by picking a gimmick for their first match, but at the same time it kind of makes it like a revenge brawl, which builds up more for the actual single better wrestler competitor match at Turning Point. Now, AJ Styles is calling out whoever attacked him last week, and Samoa Joe is pointing fingers at Christopher Daniels. I also think that Joe being sick actually made his voice kind of good for his promos. It actually sounded better. They show Khan backstage going nuts without Control or Saeed, considering she got rid of her last week. They show another Hogan plug, and then Alicia Flash, who is so freaking beautiful, versus Tara. Now, an interesting note is that Alicia's new nickname is Future Legend, and the crowd was already chanting Future Legend, even though she's a heel. This was a great knockouts match. I really liked this. It really put both talents over, and it didn't make any of them look weak. With Tara getting the win, and then Khan came out and beat the crap out of, well, Tara. She did the implant buster on top of Flash, which makes it look like we have the Khan from late 2007, early 08, around the time when she first debuted, which is great, the Khan of old. Now, Rhino is trying to convince 3D that the Young Punks are trying to take their spots, and I really enjoyed this segment. I don't know, can we see a ECW faction building? Now, they had an ECW faction a couple years ago with Sabu, Sandman, and a couple other members. But it'll be interesting to see it now with TNA being much bigger, and they'll probably book it better. And can we see Rob Van Dam debuting and actually leading this faction? Who knows? Only time will tell. So then we see Team 3D versus the Motor City Machine Guns, and we see a lot of good action from both teams. And then we see the spot that caused last week's controversy. Bubba did a rock bottom type move on Chris Sabin. He actually landed on his head and neck. And on the match we saw on TV, he was conscious right after this the replay, and moments later Alex Shelley got the win over Team 3D, which I think was pretty cool, because Team 3D doesn't really go, they don't really lose cleanly. So great win for the Motor City Machine Guns. Now, what really happened was that Sabin reportedly was knocked out for a couple minutes and was unconscious and was not moving, and then they continued to work the match. Now, a smart move by TNA editing this out and acknowledging, Sabin got hurt, but making it look like, he was conscious right away. Now, what happened that some of y'all may know or may not, when Team 3D got backstage, this is not on Impact, this is backstage story that broke out last week. Kevin Nash went out on both of them and not cursed them out, but really went off on them, being very angry that as two veterans, they didn't change the finish for the match for Sabin's safety. Now, a lot of people backstage were actually happy and surprised that Nash stood up like that to them, but as you can imagine, Team 3D probably felt disrespected. Now, for all you guys that talk crap about Kevin Nash, look what he just did right now. Right there, it shows that he really does care for this company. He's not just collecting a check, and he does care for this business. This also led to Nash being suspended. More on that later. Now, Steiner cut a promo apologizing to Mrs. Lashley, and it's so funny because he's like, I apologize. I apologize that you're not with the genetic freak, Big Pump, Scott Steiner, which I think was a great promo. It was great stuff all around, great build up, everything. And then we see Desmond warming up, and Taz puts over that Wolfe seems unfazed by Angle's challenge for tonight. He really does not regret attacking Angle. Eric Young has his first defense against Bobby Lashley, who loses quick due to interference by Scott Steiner. But it was great because it did its part. It builds up Lashley versus Steiner for, I assume, Turning Point, and also keeps the title on Eric Young. Bobby Lashley's wife, or former diva, she can act for ish. I'm not gonna curse no more on this channel. World Elite promo, and they were looking greater than ever. And a quick note on Brutus Magnus: when he first debuted with that gladiator gimmick, I was so upset that they were shoving him down our throats and putting him over talent. But now, ever since the British invasion, he has proved that his promo skills are with TNA's Elite. I mean, the way he was like, "It's just pocket change for the World Elite." It was just great. And he's like, "And they may call it a suspension, but we call it vacation time." He really looked like a veteran, and believe it or not, this guy is only about 23 years old, which, great. Let's clap it up for Mr. Brutus Magnus. I'm really a big fan of him now. I find his promos more interesting than John Cena's promo, Batista promos, but that's another conversation. Anyways, next, Eric Young puts over that he gave Lashley his first defeat when he didn't even beat Lashley. He lost in disqualification, so that was kind of funny, and drew heat from the crowd. And then he says that he announces that he renames the Legends title to the Global Championship, which a lot of people will be happy about, and I think it was a smart move by TNA, because some people were getting confused by the whole Legend name added to the title. But let's see if this is considered official by TNA, the name change. And then Nash comes out and talks crap about Eric Young and World Elite, and that the $50,000 was in another, from Iran. That was a pretty funny note. Now, he also talked crap about TNA, but that wasn't shown on iMPACT. That was reported last week. Another thing that was edited out and led to his suspension. He basically talked crap to the production crew for not signaling anybody, or anybody trying to get Chris Say. He basically talked crap that somebody should have stopped the match, and was mad at everybody, and Dixie Carter suspended him, which I think was also a smart move by her. Daniels and AJ argue over Joe's comments, and Daniels is disappointed in AJ, and AJ is disappointed in Daniels for them not seeing eye to eye. Decent build up for Unbreakable. Beautiful People versus ODB, Hemi Hamada, and yeah, basically we got a couple commercial breaks before the match, but I actually clap it up for TNA, because this is how they've been creating time for their matches. If you notice, most of the recent iMPACT matches have been shown uncut without commercial breaks. So if this is what they got to do, take breaks before the match instead of in the middle of it, clap it up for them, in my opinion. And everybody, I really like this match, because everybody basically got good offense, except of course Lacey Von Erich. The only offense that she got was the chokeslam for the finish. And ODB has been looking real credible and strong as the Knockouts champion as of late, so I'm a fan of that as well. And then Khan started coming out. I thought she was going to beat the crap out of everybody, but then Tara intercepted her, which adds a lot of more heat, more build up, everything to their one-on-one match that has been building up since basically Tara debuted. So I really look forward to that one. I wonder if we're going to get it at Turning Point or in a future card. Now, next we had Abyss versus Stevie, and I really enjoyed this match. Abyss has been looking real strong these last few months, but my only problem is that it hasn't progressed into anything. He's looking real strong and dominating his opponents, but he's just stuck there dominating his opponents. Like, shouldn't he be talking world title shot soon? But at the same time, I like where the world title picture is right now with Daniels and Joe, and then probably next month Angle and stuff like that. So I don't mind that they're continuing to do this with Abyss, and I expect a future world title match. You got to see Abyss versus AJ Styles Lockdown, I believe 2005, a great effing match. Then Foley comes out and actually does the save for Abyss, and it kind of teases, in my opinion, that they're going to continue their feud, and that Foley was so turned on by the competition he got from Abyss that he wants to have another match, because he really admires the war that went on at Bound for Glory. And Foley refused to comment and reveal his motives to Jeremy Borash, which makes me excited for next week. Now, Rhino versus Morgan was a great match, and also had a post-match segment that was also great. I love that Rhino feels like he has to fight for his spot against the young guys. It's a great program for Rhino, and I'm very intrigued. Now, another thing was, I don't think Morgan should have sold that gore so hard, bouncing his legs around and all that stuff, but Morgan looked very strong in this match. Daniels and Joe. Joe is brilliantly pointing out the possible facts that AJ looks down on Daniels and doesn't see him at the same level, which adds more heat and fire, or wood to the fire, between these guys for their unbreakable rematch match at Turning Point. Now Don West gets pushed over and grants Homicide a title shot against Amazing Red for a Turning Point, which should be an excellent match. And I think Homicide took his credit card or something and would give it back to him if he indeed gets the title shot. Angle is furious at Desmond Wolfe and cuts a promo and basically wants to stop his shortcut into TNA, to the top of TNA. And JB puts over the fact that Kurt Angle doesn't really know this Desmond character, and maybe Desmond is gonna back up the talk and stuff like that.